quiet just a little bit? Our first speaker. Our first speaker is Nicole Nemo, and she is a resident of Hart County, where she operates a micro farm. Welcome Nicole as she shares her experience with the past's not so affordable health care.
I'm going to go ahead and warn everybody, I'm a loud human being as it is, so we might need to adjust this. All right. All right, I'm ready. All right. So at the age of 13, I suddenly fell ill with high fevers, swollen joints, and fatigue. I was diagnosed with polyarticular juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Facing a long life with a degenerative disease, I was encouraged to stay active, live a healthy lifestyle, get an education for a secure career, and hopefully have access to great health insurance. In May of 2007, I earned a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from the University of Louisville. The following October, I was hired by Dow Corning in Elizabethtown, securing that career with that great health insurance. 2 years into my career, my health had deteriorated to the point that when I was, 2 years into my career, my health had deteriorated to the point that I was taking 9 medications while progressively getting more and more ill. At the age of 25, I limped to my human resources office, applied for short-term medical leave, which turned into long-term medical leave, which turned into a lost career. I had exhausted my options for treatment. My rheumatologist suggested I try Humira and Enbrel. I began to get relief. At this time, I was paying $262 a month to Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield for my husband and myself. The cost of my monthly medications was over $3,000 without insurance. That same summer, my self-employed husband, the dude over there in the green shirt, well, he's been through it too. He fell off our roof, injured his arm, severely injured his arm, permanently damaging it, and needing a future surgery to fuse his damaged wrist. During this time, our 2-year contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield through Dow Corning had ended. We had to have insurance for our medical needs. We were left with one option, Cobra. Our monthly premiums jumped to $1,128 a month. It was a quarter of our monthly medical bills, so we made do. This decimated our savings and put us heavily into debt. That following April, I found a grape-sized lump under my right jawline below my ear. I was diagnosed with stage 1B mixed cellularity Hodgkin's lymphoma. The diagnosis was surreal. Here's a fun fact. 1 out of 170,000 people who use a TNF blocker like Enbrel and Humira develops certain forms of cancer, leukemia, lymphoma, etc. With all the hell we were going through, at the halfway mark in my chemotherapy treatments, my husband, while leaving for work, noticed an envelope sticking out from underneath his console. He ran into the house. He woke me up holding our Cobra bill. This check. And I have gum on me, sorry. Here. I called Cobra frantically. I was told I was past my grace period and we were cut off. We no longer had insurance. I no longer had insurance days from my next chemotherapy. I cried, I begged, I pleaded, telling them I was holding the check. I had the money. It was simple human error, and all I got was a phone number to another healthcare exchange. Once through to the representative, the guy on the other end began to ask for my information. First, we started with my medical information. Do you have any ongoing medical conditions? I replied, I currently have cancer. He began to giggle and said, you should have known better than to call. Hung up, was livid. With our healthcare costs already nearly crippling us, luckily, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of America paid the remainder of my treatments through 2013. $8,000. That October, we used the Connect portal to find an insurance policy for my husband for 2014. Yes. He is now paying $260 for his current policy under ACA regulations. I now have Medicare and a pharmacy supplement that costs me $138 a month. Compared to our past, these rates are affordable to us. I am currently in year 3 of remission. I am still subject. Thank you. I am still subject to expensive scans and checkups. My rheumatoid arthritis, granted in remission for the first time since my teenage years, has permanently damaged my joints, my organs, along with side effects from 30 plus different medications subjected to me since the age of 13. At my current age of 32, I'm still looking at a lifetime of care for my degenerative disease. I was asked to speak about what the ACA does for me, that I am an example of why we need the ACA health, why we need universal health care. The current U.S. Senate has a literal life or death choice to make for Americans on our health care. Pre-existing conditions are an excuse by insurance companies to maintain maximum profits. The list of qualifying pre-existing conditions should be labeled as the human condition. People like myself and thousands will never be able to get insurance if the ACA is fully repealed. Before the ACA, a person with my medical history would be lucky to find an insurance company that would accept them without charging ridiculous, unaffordable premiums. Someone like Mitch McConnell, who had polio as a child and his pre-existing conditions, someone like him would not be able to find insurance if he allows the repeal of the ACA. After years of medical disasters, my credit is ruined. I'm nearly forcing us into bankruptcy. The ACA means I don't have to worry about my husband's future surgery on his wrist. The ACA means I am not being charged half my income. This check right here. Half my income. Sorry. I'm sorry. The ACA means a child with chronic lifelong illness does not grow up being financially punished for being sick. The ACA means people like you, people like all of us with flesh and blood bodies, do not have to live by a thread based on affording health care. If I had one thing to say to those who support Mitch McConnell and other elected officials who hold profits over people, it would be, we are here in the heartland of Kentucky, in a small town where everyone is connected either through blood or community pride. You raise funds to campaign for a man who has championed obstructionist behavior over the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Mitch and his party speak of economic growth and prosperity, but for whom? If I wanted to make America great again, I'd start by making health care a right to all Americans. A healthy American is a productive American. One day they'll wake up, hopefully, before the shoe is on the other foot. Take it out. It's like a fifth grader doing a book report. You know everything I've been with.
Every 3 hours. Talk and you read.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know.
I talk and you read.
All right, let's do some chants. Let's get loud.
Take away our health care. Take away your jobs. We take away our health care. Take away your jobs. Take away our health care. We'll take away your jobs. Take away our health care. We'll take away your jobs. Take away our health care. We'll take away your jobs. Take away our health care. Take away your jobs. We'll never be divided. The people united will 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 never be divided. The people.
All right, we're going to go ahead and introduce Tammara. She's the Director of External Affairs for Planned Parenthood of Indiana and Kentucky. She's going to tell us a little bit about the services that Planned Parenthood provides to our community and what would happen if Planned Parenthood is defunded from Medicaid. So help me welcome Tammara Wieder.
My name's Tammara Wieder. I'm the Director of External Affairs for Planned Parenthood of Indiana and Kentucky, based in Louisville, but I started my journey here. My husband is an active duty service member, and our first placement was here at Fort Knox. I have a long history with healthcare, and especially reproductive healthcare. I'm going to share my story and how I got to Planned Parenthood because it's not an uncommon one. I started having pain in my 20s, and we couldn't figure out what it was, and I was a student at the time with very bad insurance, so all I had for my options was the healthcare center on campus. I'd see a different provider each time, and they were great, but they didn't have a lot of experience in reproductive health. So I saved up 3 months of my tips to go see a gynecologist. When I saw him, he was cold, he dismissed me, said my pain was in my head, that maybe I didn't like my partner who became my husband, and that I needed to stop searching for answers because he saw that I had seen lots of providers at the Student Health Center. I had to go straight back to work, and I left that appointment feeling defeated and crazy. You're doubting yourself, you're doubting your symptoms, and I was. Luckily, I had a boss who, when she saw me walk in for my shift that afternoon, knew something was wrong. She took me to the side, and I started crying, and then you know what she did? She sent me to her provider at Planned Parenthood. She said, everybody needs to be listened to, and my provider will listen to you. I feared having to spend more money on a demoralizing experience. But when I got to Planned Parenthood, I qualified for Medicaid. They waived my fees because I qualified for Medicaid, and I had service that I would not have been able to afford. 1 in 5 women find themselves at Planned Parenthood, and more than that, we see all people. We see men, we see women, people of gender fluidity, trans individuals. We are a place that makes sure that you are never denied care. When I went to Planned Parenthood that afternoon, my nurse practitioner listened to me for an hour and a half. She didn't diagnose me, but she had an assumption that I had endometriosis, which I do have. I was not a hypochondriac. I was not a crazy woman. I was sick. And she started me on the pathway to recovery. And I left that afternoon feeling empowered, rejuvenated, and ready to stand up for myself and others. And so here I find myself today working in Kentucky, making sure that everybody's voice is heard, because Planned Parenthood gave me back my voice. We will stand with everyone. Our doors remain open in Kentucky. We will see you all. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Nicole. It's time for some more chanting, which means I have to put my microphone down.
Abigail would like to do, what is democracy?
Okay, we have a special request chant. Abigail would like to know, what does democracy look like? So tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell Mitch what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell Trump what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
All right.
Is that gun violence?
Oh,
We want healthcare. We want healthcare.
Kind of flopped on me there.
I know what you were
I
at.
didn't.
It's hard looking around. Somebody's coming.
Oh, this thing. I didn't have the tripod here pulled down.